My name is Dallas Jones, and I am VP at Ecosense, and I welcome you to this webinar on radon testing schools with EcoQube Pro. Uh, Once again, thanks for joining. I am recording this, so we will be sending out a recording to all of you who registered in the event you want to look at this again. So the EcoQube Pro is a radon monitor, a continuous radon monitor that we developed from the original EcoQube. It has the same 30 counts per hour per picocurie per liter radon sensor that is in our other devices. What makes this one different is it uses the onboard memory and is designed to do testing from 48 hours up to 96 hours. We provide them in cases of 4 units or in cases of 45. If you need additional, we can certainly manage that. It started and stopped with a mobile app that you can download from the Apple Store or the Google Store. It comes with a dashboard, a web dashboard that you keep track of all of your projects and your test data and all of your reports. And that's what I'm going to kind of walk through this afternoon, where you get an idea of how this all works. So the EcoQube Pro is versatile in that it's designed for not only doing single family testing where you may place 1 or 2 at a residence, but also for large projects like workplaces and care facilities and multifamily buildings. But today we're going to talk about schools. We have had a lot of success using the EcoQube Pro in schools. And I want to share how this has gone for other for school districts and testers of schools. And as we move into school starting back as it is now, we certainly expect and are already seeing some activity picked up as school districts are wanting to begin testing schools. So this is a real-time continuous radon monitor. It's approved by the National Radon Proficiency Program, and Ecosense is an approved laboratory for this device. So we actually perform the analysis on the data, so you can test as a standard service provider in the NRPP program, or depending on your state licensing requirements, you could be a technician and work under our business or our laboratory license in the state. The standard for performing tests in large buildings with charcoal devices, as you probably know, calls for placing a single charcoal device in each location, each schoolroom or office in the school. And then if it comes back elevated, you do a confirmatory test and to make sure that you really have a problem before you make a decision to explore mitigation. This eliminates the need for confirmatory tests because you're getting hour by hour data during the original deployment period. It also eliminates the necessity for performing blanks and spikes. It has an auto stop option, so you can set it for a 48-hour test, a 72-hour test, or a 96-hour test, and it will stop at the end of that time period and wait for you to retrieve it. It's not going to spoil if it sits too long, like a charcoal canister, which if it's left out longer than the recommended time frame could gain too much moisture, for example, in the carbon, and they wouldn't be able to analyze it at the laboratory. That said, you can set it for 96 hours, and if you arrive to retrieve it in 72 or 48 hours or whatever time, you can stop the device with the mobile app anytime you arrive to to retrieve it. We also take care of the calibration. The Ecosense lab has a NRPP approved tertiary radon chamber. We do all the calibrations for these devices, and that's included in the rental for these. We don't sell them, we do rent them or lease them. I'll explain that as we move forward. Um, the the thing that I like most about this device, quite frankly, is that the sensitivity gives you really good, um, reliable 1 hour readings, so you can really track what the radon concentration is doing from 1 hour to the next, which is important when you're trying to compare that to building operations and determine what could be driving the radon entry from one time period to the next. There's no mailing devices to the lab like you do with charcoal. The results are uploaded to the server at Ecosense, where we process that data and analyze it, and then post it on your dashboard. There's no need for paperwork. Everything is done through the mobile app and then recorded on the dashboard. Every device has a scannable barcode, so you can quickly recognize it with the mobile app. It will connect via Bluetooth to any device that's in the vicinity. So if you just have one device, it'll see it right away. If you have multiple devices that are there, then it could show you a list, so to prevent having to figure out which one you're wanting to look at. At the moment, you just scan the barcode, and it'll connect you right to it. The dashboard, which I will show you shortly, gives you the ability to manage projects as well as your devices, invite testers to the project. And then once you have all of the data retrieved and uploaded, and all the individual reports, then you can easily generate a summary report of the entire project. We've created an easy way for you to do that too. You can add your floor plans and your documentation, sketches. Any of those things could be added right into the summary report. All that's made real easy. Your duplicate tests are tracked, so we'll report that as part of your QA section on the summary report. And then whatever is required on the reports per your state radon program is also provided automatically, as it's triggered by the particular location of the test. So we are a certified lab who performs the analysis. We have NRPP lab certification. We're accredited by the New York Environmental Laboratory Accreditation Program. We have a New Jersey radon business license, a Florida radon business license, an Iowa radon lab license. We're an Illinois radon measurement professional. We have a Minnesota radon lab license. I don't know if I got them all there, but the point is that you can operate using these devices under our umbrella as an affiliate, and we'll be glad to show you how all that's done if you give us a call. The thing that I like about the hourly readings, in addition to they're so reliable, is the fact that compared to charcoal, which just gives you an integrated average, when you deploy these devices from the get-go, you're able to actually track the fluctuations and be able to compare the day versus the nighttime, or the occupied hours versus the unoccupied hours. It's not uncommon in some schools, for example, where the ventilation system comes on, the radon concentrations go down while it's running, and then once that system shuts down in the afternoon, then the radon concentrations build back up again. Oftentimes in schools, mitigation for elevated concentrations can be managed with timing of the air handler operation, when it comes on, when it comes off. For example, on Monday morning after the ventilation system hasn't run for 2 days, it may need to start considerably earlier to allow for enough ventilation and dilution to bring the radon concentrations down before people arrive for the day, compared to, say, a Tuesday or a Wednesday. And then if you have a longer 3-day weekend like we did recently for Labor Day, then that could have different timing. But the point is that you're able to make sense of the data by comparing it with the building operation and see if indeed this is something that could be controlled with the HVAC and ventilation, or whether a soil depressurization system is called for. It's easy to install. You can put it on an interior wall with removable command strips. These are very lightweight, and so they can be applied to the wall quite easily and securely. The device has a label on the front with a QR code. If you scan that QR code, it'll give you all of the information about the test is in progress and you're not to disturb the device, but you don't need to be worried about the unit itself. It's not causing anyone any harm. It provides all the protocol information that someone would need to know about in the event that they're curious as to what this is. It explains that it's a radon gas detector and that there's a test in progress, and it should not be disturbed. So that's typically how they're placed. We do have home inspectors who get the smaller 4-packs of these and put them in single-family residences, and for that they usually put them on a tripod. We have a recommended little clamp that works real well with the tripod and fits right onto the cube. So that's another way it's deployed. As I mentioned, the label on the front, you can see here, the device is compact, but it's not so small to be accidentally thrown away or damaged. They're surprisingly durable. We've got units that have been out for 2 years now, and they continue to work just fine. We do bring them in at the end of or before the end of a 12-month period to recalibrate them and do a complete checkout on them. So as I mentioned, they're easy to deploy with the mobile app. It doesn't take long to deploy these. Several of the entries are just default. For example, if you want to start if you want to do 48-hour tests with a 4-hour delay period, then you can set it up that way. And then all of your subsequent entries, it will default to that setting, so you don't have to enter that every time. So really the only thing you would need to input when you deploy it is the location ID, what's the classroom or the apartment number, and then you can change one setting for if it's a duplicate. So if it's a duplicate, you would check the drop-down box that it's a duplicate, and there's another duplicate that's going to be placed with that. That way we can match those duplicates up for your reporting for quality assurance. So most of the users tell me they can deploy these in a minute to a minute and a half tops. You can see over on the right, here's a photo of a case where they're being rolled down the hallway and deployed in one classroom to the next. As you know, with charcoal devices, you're just going to get a one concentration. It's an integrated average result for the test period. You don't get the hourly intervals. Excuse me. And you're going to need to do a confirmatory test. requiring a follow-up test. If the initial test is equal to or greater than 4, you're going to have 5% extras for blanks and 3% extras for spikes, and pay the chamber to have them spiked. And wait for the analysis, because you're going to have to mail them all to the lab. You guys know all this. Whereas with the EcoQube Pro, the hourly data is going to be there on each location you place it. You can make a decision on a single deployment. Blanks aren't required. Spikes aren't required. You can get your results the same day and begin that summary report that same day, and get everything to your client right away. So I want to take a minute and switch over here to the dashboard. So let me move over to, okay. So here you can see, well, first of all, let me check in with you guys. I see Jeff LeBlanc is on today. Jeff, would you raise your hand if you can see my project dashboard? Ah, great. Thank you, Jeff. Okay, just wanted to make sure. A couple of times I've just assumed everything was working fine and then found out too late that it wasn't. So thanks for letting me know. So you can see that you've got a project section, you've got a single test section, and I could go back and set my time period for single tests. We've got I'm actually in the admin section, so this isn't the real settings for this particular client. But you also have support section where you can get assistance and instructions and so forth. But for schools, you're going to typically set up a project. If you want to initiate a project, then let me get over here. If you want to create a project, you can see you can put in the project information, the project name, client name, email address for that client, their phone number, what your start date for the project is going to be and stop date, the property address, all the property details, including the building type, and the substructure type, and even the test purpose. Is it real estate transaction, or is it required school testing? You can put all that in there. So you're going to create your project, and then once you have created that project, come over here to a particular school. Here you can see that, well, let me pick this Hamilton, 406 Hamilton. So here you can see all of the tests that were performed at this particular school. 101A, 101K, all the classrooms are here. Here are all the radon results. You can see the date they started and finished. It'll let you know if there's a duplicate involved, so it keeps track of those, as I mentioned. You can click on any one of them and see the actual results for that class room or office. Here you can see all of the hourly data. It will create a report for each specific location. So if I wanted to see the report for this particular room, which is room 103, here it is. It's a condensed report. If you're doing a single test, under the single test menu over on the left, then you get a 6-page report that has all of the required information to meet the NCR standards, and including all the recommendations and so forth, on each individual test report. But for a project like a school, the report is just really 2 pages. But that's because we're going to have a summary report. So if I come back over here to the to that particular school, I'll pick another one here. If you see here at the summary report, then you can see the company that Denver hired to do their schools here was a company named Broad. So their logo's here. It has their information. Here's the project information. Here's the scope of the measurement, the summary of the results. It says here that there were 24 devices placed in this particular school. It was a small school. And then you get to all of the information. A lot of this is standard information, but is tailored for each test. Then you get to each of the individual locations that were tested, and the start and stop time and the test results. And you can see that moves on to the next page. Then you get to the duplicate tests. Here it gives you the relative percent difference of the 2 pairs of duplicates. And then there's a final page that summarizes everything, and it gets signed off. The way this works is once you uh, complete your summary report, then it comes back to us for analysis. It takes about, for that, it might take an hour. Typically, it'll be less. We'll get an email, and then we'll take a look at it, review the total report, and then sign off on it, and then post it in your dashboard where you can then download it and have it ready for your client. So you can see in this particular case, the Denver system tested 40 schools this past season, and so all of the different schools are here, and you can click on any one of them, and and you can see just what happened. Here's a summary report for this school. You see it had 77 tests. And again, here's the summary report. Gives you the percentage that were between 0 and 1.9, and ones that are between 2 and 3.9. So again, it's real simple. It's real fast. It's real thorough. And I'm going to show you why it's more affordable than using charcoal as well. So let me go back over to my slides. Oop. Oh, no, 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 no. Go away. All right. So let's say you had a school district with 12 schools, and your largest school was Central High, and it has 123 locations that need to be tested. Plus, you're going to need 12 duplicates, so you need 135 cubes to perform the test. So if that's the largest school, you could order 135 EcoQube Pros. To rent them for more than a month and over 100, then we can get down around $20 a month plus shipping. So in this case, because of the 12 schools, they could get it done in 2 months. But you can see after doing Central High, they could then move these same cubes over to Suburban High, 112 locations with 11 duplicates. And then the following test, they can do Central Middle School and Suburban Middle School at the same time because they've got enough cubes to test 2 schools with the 135 that they had that they ordered. So then They test two more schools and two more schools and so forth until they're done with their project. In this particular example, they could test 880 locations throughout the 12 schools. They eliminate the need for confirmatory testing, no blanks, no spikes, no chamber fees, and they don't have to do tedious summary report writing because we've got a setup that makes it so simple. So in this example, you're looking at about $6.14 per test, which is cheaper than charcoal, and you have a much better test. It's going to take you far less time. So this is how we have been so popular in testing schools for the past year and a half, and look forward to another season this year. So I invite you to take a look at how this works. If you want to get a quote, then this is sort of how I would go about figuring this out. We've done some very large districts like Denver. We've done some smaller districts that, maybe there are only 4 or 5 schools. Maybe like this one, there's 12, or it could be anything in between. So just whatever you need, we're here to provide service for you. So if you need help designing a school survey and to get a quote for what that's going to take and how many you're going to need and for how long, then please just send me an email to djones@ecosense.io, and we will put together a quote for you. You can compare it with what you'd spend for charcoal, and I think you'll see that for the time you save, for the trips saving. I mean, even if you want to do a confirmatory test, you'll know right away whether you need to. You can deploy one shortly thereafter. Would save you a trip. It's just a lot simpler all the way around than using charcoal. Okay, so oh, hi Lynn Marie, thanks for joining. Um, so if you have any questions, forgive me, I'm a little under the weather today, so my voice is uh, kind of wearing out sooner than normal. But if you have some questions, please raise your hand. I'll get to you. And so let me know. Anybody have anything in the chat? Jeff, are you good? I see Roger, Mike, Ron, Daryl, David. Got another David. All right. Well, if there are no questions, then I'm going to sign off. Thank you so much for joining. And you know where to get me. djones@ecosense.io. See you next time.